Welcome to today's explainer. All right, picture this. It's like the setup for an epic movie trailer. You've got the ultimate martial arts master, a guy named Bak Jong-hook. In his past life, he was the literal celestial demon. We're talking about a man who conquered the entire Murin world and died in absolute peace right at the very pinnacle of strength. But then he wakes up, and he finds himself reincarnated into a fantasy realm, specifically the Kingdom of Cairo. The massive catch? He's trapped in the 25-year-old body of Roman Dmitri. And who is Roman? Well, he's a lazy noble who is widely known as the absolute trash of the Dmitri family.
So it really begs the question, what exactly happens when a battlefield god wakes up in a weak, totally ridiculed body? Well, let me tell you, he absolutely does not just sit around. Almost immediately, Roman decides he's going to live exactly as he pleases. His very first move, he just abruptly cancels his high-profile arranged marriage to Flora Lawrence, completely shocking everyone. And then he steps right out into the streets, fully prepared to turn the entire Dmitri territory upside down.
And man, let's just dive right into the bloodshed here. Roman runs into the Bloodfangs, which is this ruthless local gang terrorizing a peasant boy. Now, Roman doesn't just politely ask them to stop. No, he single-handedly slaughters these street thugs using nothing but a wooden stick. It is wild. And when the gang's corrupt leader actually comes begging for his life in the town square, Roman coldly delivers this chilling ultimatum. If you wanted to live as a dog, you should have begged before showing your fangs, right before publicly executing him. With this incredibly visceral massacre, Roman instantly establishes his new ruthless morality. Basically, disrespect the Dmitri name and you die.
Section 1. Establishing dominance, a new kind of power. Now, that public execution, that was literally just the beginning. Roman realizes pretty quickly that to survive in this new world, he needs a fiercely loyal inner circle. So he starts with that very peasant boy he'd just saved, demanding absolute bloody loyalty in return.
But you know what makes Roman truly unstoppable? It's the clash of power systems. In this new world, knights use what they call aura. Basically, they absorb mana and violently explode it outward. But to Roman, that is total garbage. He relies entirely on his old Murim ki method, where energy is stored, purified, and heavily concentrated deep within the body. So, when he spars with the Dmitri family's prodigy knight, a guy named Chris, Roman easily outclasses them without even breaking a sweat. It's simply because his internal ki is just vastly superior to those wasteful aura bursts. This perfectly shows that his fundamental advantage isn't just raw talent. It's an entirely different, vastly superior paradigm of martial arts.
Right after totally humiliating Chris in combat, Roman drops this brutal but honestly brilliant piece of wisdom. He tells him, the only thing you cannot do is blindly follow what you have been taught. Seek the answer on your own. This perfectly highlights Roman's show-don't-tell leadership style. He literally forces Chris to question 10 whole years of traditional blind training. By utterly shattering Chris's worldview like that, Roman earns the young prodigy's unwavering allegiance. Chris abandons his old master right then and there and swears to follow Roman onto the battlefield.
Section 2. The Barco Family War. Things really start to heat up here, as Roman steps directly onto the regional political stage to save his former fiancé's family, dragging the entire northern region right into a massive conflict. I really want you to notice just how rapidly Roman's status skyrockets here. Look at this escalation. He goes from beating up street thugs in a matter of days to winning a full-blown regional war against the Barcos in a few weeks, to then being deployed to the southern front just in time for a massive continent-shifting national invasion in just months. The guy is an absolute magnet for conflict.
And this number right here, 49. It brilliantly illustrates just how overwhelming Roman's power is during that Barco War. See, the Barcos hire this guy named Homer, a prodigy ranked 49th in the entire Cairo kingdom, to fight in a champions duel. Homer is supposed to be this legendary swordsman, but Roman, he steps up and just cleaves Homer in half with a single, devastating slash. Boom, done. The crowd is left in absolute stunned silence, and the Barco family is instantly defeated.
Which brings us to Section 3, Invasion at the Southern Front. Because, let's face it, peace never lasts for the heavenly demon. Almost immediately after being sent to the Southern Front, Roman is met by a massive, complete surprise attack from the Hector Kingdom.
Now, the really crucial takeaway here is how Roman reacts to this absolute disaster. While everyone else is understandably panicking, Roman, he feels right at home. You see, back in his past life, before he conquered the world, he was known as the King of the Night. He was essentially a shadow incarnate who flawlessly assassinated 38 martial masters. He utilizes these terrifying Murim assassination skills to stalk the Hector army in the dead of night, basically turning their invasion into a waking nightmare.
If we break down his tactical brilliance, Roman executes a downright flawless guerrilla warfare strategy. Step 1. Isolate the enemy's rearguard and cut their communication. Step 2. Strike silently from the shadows, making the enemy troops so panicked they literally attack each other. And Step 3. Casually walk up and behead the enemy commanders. It's wild! He single-handedly collapses Hector's communication lines and slaughters hundreds of soldiers, completely halting their advance in its tracks.
Of course, causing that much chaos forces Hector's elite commanders to corner him, and this is where we get the ultimate climactic showdown. Roman gets trapped by Edwin, a powerful 4-circle mage, and Bucker, a massive 5-star aura knight. It's a devastating combined attack that's fully meant to obliterate him instantly. To survive this, Roman is finally forced to stop holding back. He unleashes the devastating second and third movements of the heavenly demon sword arts, quite literally tearing the very terrain apart. And the craziest part, bleeding and completely exhausted, Roman doesn't feel an ounce of fear. He just feels sheer battle lust. His only thought in that moment is, only when facing death do I feel truly alive. He strikes back with such overwhelming ferocity that he shatters the enemy's spirit, forcing Hector's elite forces to flee the battlefield in sheer terror. Against all odds, Roman secures the fortress and single-handedly wins the war. So returning from the south, you can imagine the political ripple effect is absolutely massive. Roman is hailed as a national hero and is offered these incredible, god-tier rewards. We're talking recruitment by Valhalla's intelligence, a mansion and royal knight status from Cairo, and huge faction alliances with Marquis Benedict. But what does Roman do? He rejects them all. Instead, he brilliantly leverages these offers to raise his own value, determined to build his very own independent faction from the ground up.
Which perfectly sets up Section 4, Ruler of the North. Roman returns home as a national hero, only to find the arrogant Castro family actively bullying his younger brother. And well, it is time for a very harsh lesson.
Because Roman doesn't just walk up and challenge them to a physical fight. No, he completely nukes them financially. He orders the immediate withdrawal of all Dimitri's steel trade, he calls in all their central bank debts, and he rallies completely hostile political factions against them. It firmly proves that his dominance isn't just physical anymore, it is systemic. Within 24 hours, the Castro family is facing total ruin, and the Castro patriarch is forced to drag his son all the way to Roman and beg on his knees for forgiveness.
You'd think people would learn, right? But the other northern nobles still don't quite get the message. A group called the Northern Alliance actually plots a rebellion, sending 2 highly trained assassin champions to kill Roman during a competition. And how does that go? Well, it's honestly brief and kind of hilarious. Roman casually crouches, draws his sword, and splits both of their champions in 2 within seconds, proving once again that absolutely no one in the region can even scratch the new ruler of the North. And this brings us to what I think is the most crucial point of Roman's entire character. Following that fight, Roman pushes his body to the absolute brink in training, trying to fuse his Murim arts with this world's mana. He ends up blowing a massive, meteor-sized crater into his own training grounds. Standing there in the rubble, sweating and totally exhausted, he makes this terrifying demand of the universe. I want eternal challenges. I want every challenge this world has to offer to try and take my life. He isn't satisfied with peace. At his core, he demands constant, deadly combat to force his own evolution.
Which leaves us hanging on a massive cliffhanger. Think about it. With the northern nobles crushed, the Blood Fangs totally wiped out, and the leaders of the Cairo kingdom practically begging for his favor, Roman Dimitri is virtually unstoppable right now. But as a man who literally begs the universe to send mortal threats his way, what terrifying enemies will the heavenly demon have to face next? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep analyzing, keep learning, and I'll catch you in the next one.